Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be covering mudslides and landslides with the case study of Sierra Leone with their mudslide. I've already made a video on this, but why not do it again? So yeah, let's get started. So first off, landslides. Landslides occur when the force of gravity overcomes the frictional force that keeps the layers of rock in a place on a slope. So a weak geological layer, such as the fragile layer of shale, can form a failure plane that makes the slope unstable, and it causes debris to fall down the steep hill. So what are the causes of landslides? Well, number one is pretty obvious, heavy rain. Well, heavy rain is a common cause of landslides, as I just said, as it adds weight to the upper layer of, the soil and the rocks that results in the mud being a lubricant, and it just all falls yeah, that's the best way I could explain it. And deforestation can also contribute to landslides, as the network of tree roots that hold land in place are removed, and causing the roots to rot and the land to become liable to slip, right? Because the tree roots are helping it, kind of stabilize the soil. It makes it hard, but without the roots, it just becomes like a whole mushy thing. Okay, next one is earthquakes. So earthquakes can trigger landslides as the ground shakes and dislodges the upper layers of rock. Okay, and again, the last one being occurs slowly over the years, which is quite obvious, within the climate. And what are mudslides? Well, mudslides occur when a large amount of water causes the rapid erosion of soil on a steep slope. So rapid snowmelt at the top of a mountain or a period of intense rainfall can trigger a mudslide, as the great volume of water mixes with soil and causes it to liquefy and move downhill. And it could vary in texture. It could be really thick or it could be really watery. And, it could be mixed with a lot of, tons of debris, right, including large boulders, trees, rocks, cars, houses, depending on the scale. So the key difference is that landslides are a result of rocks, debris, and other materials sliding down a mountain or cliff, and a mudslide occurs when large amounts of mud gather and flow down a slope. It can have stuff in it as well. So the case study here I am showing today is the 2017 Sierra Leone landslide, which is in Freetown. So yeah, let's get started. So in the early hours of August 14th, after several days of intense rainfall, a massive landslide occurred in the neighborhood of Freetown. The rain saturated the soil and weakened the hillside. Without proper drainage or vegetation to hold the soil in place, as I said earlier, like the tree roots, a large portion of the slope gave away. So this was not just a landslide, but it was a mudslide, right? A fast-moving river of mud, rocks, and debris swept through homes while people were still asleep. So what happened after? Well, first off, it's pretty obvious. Massive human loss. Unfortunately, a lot of people went missing and died because of this mudslide. And again, another unfortunate thing, displacement of homes. As the, mudslide ran through the homes, it caused many people to relocate to temporary camps. And the third one kind of relates to the second, damage to infrastructure. Without roads and bridges and essential services, it really made it hard for people to, go anywhere, and it kind of hampered rescue efforts as well. And last but not least, social and economic effects. Well, first, there was a health crisis. The mudslide and flooding raised the risk of waterborne diseases like cholera in the aftermath, and emergency shelters were overcrowded with limited access to clean water and sanitation. And again, there's also psychological trauma as well. Survivors experienced severe psychological stress, including trauma from losing entire families or witnessing death firsthand. And another one is community displacement. As I mentioned before, many of the displaced people were poor and lived in informal settlements. The landslide worsened Sierra Leone's already high poverty rate and created long-term housing insecurity. And finally, economic burden. The disaster placed a huge financial burden on the government, which had limited resources. International aid was required to support recovery and relief operations. So that is it for the case study. It was quite short, but I hope it helped. So yeah, thanks for listening. Bye.